Welcome to TRIVI-yeah! I am your host, Dean Felix. This is the podcast where you can learn something new, feel good about the things you already know, and grow your toenails to tremendous lengths, if that's what you're into. This is a judgment-free zone. I only ask that you keep those talons away from me. First things first, the answer to last week's bonus question is an Ames room. What was the question? Well, to find out, all you need to do is listen to the previous episode. So simple. I know you can do it. I believe in you. 10 multiple choice questions coming your way as we travel down the rabbit hole of trivia knowledge. Here on TRIVI-yeah! Each question leads to the question that follows. It's how I mix up the topics and categories, and I've been told by AI that I should really push that element of the show. So, consider it pushed. Speaking of AI, none of it was used to make any part of this show. I research and write the questions. I wrote and created the music and all the interludes that you'll hear. My name is Dean, so check me out. I don't have any special segments for you guys today. Sorry. I just wanted to say thank you for pressing play. I'm very glad you are here. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and be best. Are we still being best? I think we should. Be best, everyone. You can email the pod at TRIVI-yeah-podcast@gmail.com, TRIVI-yeah-podcast@gmail.com, and what else? Yeah. Your hair looks so good today. Wow. Are you using a new shampoo? Looks really good. All right, and with that, it is time to play TRIVI-yeah! Right after this. Welcome back to TRIVI-yeah! I'm Dean Felix. The complexities of life can be hard, and parsing through these complexities is just too much for most people to deal with. Instead, it's much easier to see things as black and white, right and wrong, good and evil. No one seems to have the capacity to contain multitudes these days. If I'm good, which I must be, then people who disagree with me must be evil. There. Simple. So tidy. But what even is evil? The dictionary says that evil is profound immorality and wickedness, and this definition is terrible. See, often one man's morality is another's immorality, and it's the same with wickedness and virtue for the most part. If you want a better definition of evil, you have to put on your robe and wizard hat and check out Dungeons and Dragons, the role-playing game that while growing up I was taught was evil. It isn't. That's dumb. In D&D, evil is characterized by a willingness to harm, oppress, or kill for personal gain or ideology. Now that's a solid definition. A willingness to harm, oppress, or kill for personal gain or ideology. The part about personal gain, that seems pretty obvious, but it's the ideology portion that I find particularly interesting. In D&D, this fits into the lawful-evil alignment, where characters perform evil acts because of the law or tradition or religion. A well-written lawful-evil character will rarely admit to themselves that they are anything but good and just. My God says that your ways are wicked, so my persecution of you is a holy act. This is all for the greater good, and if I just so happen to receive a little pleasure from it, well, that's just reinforcement that I'm doing the right thing. A little evil salami as a treat. A difference between D&D and real life, though, is that most of us don't have specific alignments. Sometimes we're lawful, sometimes we're chaotic, which I suppose would categorize us as neutral, but neutral doesn't really mean anything. It's easy to say that someone is evil, but I'm not sure that it's ever really true. Not constantly. Same thing with good. Describing someone as either evil or good is just easier. It removes all of the complexity, makes things simple, so tidy. And look, I've been guilty of this as well. However, I believe that a person's actions can be accurately described this way. Are those actions selfless? Do they show compassion, empathy, which is a real thing? Do they protect others, even or especially at their own personal expense or peril? If so, then those actions are good. And for the moment, at least, so is the person making them. It's time for question one. Time for question one. Time for question. It's time for question one. Time The song Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry was released in 1958, and when Rolling Stone compiled a list of the 100 greatest guitar songs of all time, they said it was number 1. About a country boy who wasn't very good at reading and writing, yet could play the guitar just like ringing a bell, Chuck Berry has acknowledged that this rock and roll tune is partly autobiographical. One main difference is that Berry is from St. Louis, while Johnny B. Good grew up close to what southern city? A. Biloxi, Mississippi. B. Savannah, Georgia. C. New Orleans, Louisiana. Or D. Muscle Shoals, Alabama. The answer is C. New Orleans. Johnny B. Good never hit number 1 on the charts, but that hasn't stopped the song from going interstellar. Berry's recording is among the musical samples on the Voyager spacecrafts, which are currently traveling at high speeds somewhere outside our solar system. So this song about a young musician shooting for the stars may just eventually hit one. No need for excitement or hullabaloo. It's just question 2. New Orleans was the capital of French Louisiana until joining the United States as part of the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. The Louisiana Purchase was the acquisition of a huge plot of land consisting of most of the middle portion of the current United States. At least a part of 15 current states and 2 Canadian provinces were included in the deal, which surprisingly did not contain all of current-day Louisiana. Well, at least not according to Spain, it didn't. To avoid a war, the U.S. and Spain decided to declare the western part of Louisiana as the neutral ground, and from 1806 to 1821, this area was its own free state. There's got to be some stories about what went down during these 15 years in the neutral ground. I haven't heard any. Come on, Kevin Costner, get on it. Back to the Louisiana Purchase. This had been one of the long-term goals of Thomas Jefferson. He got it done during the first of his 2 terms as president. Here's your question. Who served as Thomas Jefferson's vice president during his first term in office? Was it A. James Madison, B. George Clinton, C. James Monroe, or D. Aaron Burr? The answer is D. Aaron Burr. James Monroe and Robert Livingston negotiated the Louisiana Purchase with France, while Thomas Jefferson and Secretary of State James Madison persuaded Congress to ratify the deal. George Clinton, not the Funkadelic one, was Jefferson's second VP. During Jefferson's second term, Aaron Burr was very busy, killing Alexander Hamilton in a duel, allegedly plotting to invade the newly acquired Louisiana Purchase, getting tried for treason, and then acquitted after the prosecution failed to prove that Burr had committed an overt act. A covert act, certainly, but overt? Apparently not. Which is a good lesson for all of us. When making treasonous plans, do not, under any circumstances, put them in writing. Question 3. Hamilton, an American Musical, is a famous Broadway show based on the 2004 biography Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. The musical is by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it's supposedly great, but I've never seen it, which is probably surprising considering I'm such a fancy little musical theater boy. Please, sir, may I have some jazz hands? Not sure what that was. Hamilton won Tonys in 2016 for Best Musical, Best Original Score, along with many others. And Lin-Manuel Miranda's first Broadway musical that he concepted and wrote the music and lyrics for also won Tonys for Best Musical, Best Original Score, along with many others, in 2008. Set over the course of 3 days in a Dominican-American neighborhood, this award-winning musical is called what? A. The Capeman. B. Buena Vista Social Club. C. On Your Feet, or D. In the Heights. The answer is D. In the Heights. Taking place in Washington Heights in Upper Manhattan, In the Heights is narrated by the owner of a corner bodega who longs to return to his old home of the Dominican Republic. But in spite of the struggles he faces, he learns to appreciate what he has around him. And of course, there's a lot of singing and dancing in it. Everything's better with a little singing and dancing, even getting shot in a duel by Aaron Burr, apparently. Why are we here? Where are we going? Who is behind all of this? What should I get for lunch? What is this question for? The average height of players in the National Basketball Association is 6 foot 7 inches. The current tallest player in the NBA is Victor Wembanyama at 7 foot 5, despite reports in some places that he's only 7 foot 4 and thus tied with Boban Marjanovic. Yikes. Boban Marjanovic. I'm moving on. And maybe Zach Edey as well. But I've seen pictures of Zach Edey standing next to Wembanyama, and Victor is taller. So don't listen to those reports. The tallest player height in the history of the NBA is 7 foot 7 inches, with George Muresan and Manute Bol tied for that honor. Manute Bol actually played on the same team as the shortest player in NBA history. Standing at only 5 foot 3 inches, this player actually blocked 39 shots in his career, including the shot of 7-footer Patrick Ewing, who wasn't forced to immediately quit the league for some reason. Who is this diminutive former NBA star? A. Earl Boykins. B. Spud Webb. C. Allen Iverson. Or D. Muggsy Bogues. The answer is D. Muggsy Bogues. That's 3 Ds in a row, and you might be thinking that I'm getting clever with where I put the right answers, but I'm not. I'm not clever. I'm a little clever. But I'm rolling a 12-sided die to determine where the right answer goes. It's random-ish. You might be wondering why I don't roll a 4-sided die, but I tried that. Those suckers don't really roll. Starting out, I used one, and then I rolled a 2 7 times in a row. It felt suspicious. Anyway, Muggsy played in the NBA for 14 seasons, mostly with the Charlotte Hornets, and Muggsy would probably agree with me that a D12 just rolls so smooth.
Hey, fellas, wait till you hear this.
Oh my gosh.
Don't say.
I can't believe it.
What y'all talking about over there?
Nothing. We were just
Talking about question 5.
Well, shoot.
Mugs have been around since the Neolithic Stone Age, but mug technology still hadn't advanced far enough for the US Navy when World War II came around. They wanted a mug that would keep from constantly tipping over and spilling while being used on ships. So they put out a bid for American businesses to design a better mug. A company named Victor answered the call, designing a white glazed, thick-walled mug with no handle that worked like a charm. These mugs were so popular that a handled version is the type of mug that we still use in diners everywhere today. Victor wasn't in the mug-making business prior to this venture. The demand for their normal products had slowed because of the war, so they took a chance on the mug thing instead. Before making mugs, what did Victor manufacture? A. Refrigerators. B. Phonographs. C. Ball bearings. Or D. Insulators. The answer is D. Insulators. Ugh, 4 Ds in a row. Alright, this is officially the Oops, All Ds episode. Victor made high-tension porcelain insulators, and the factors that make porcelain a good insulator for electrical devices, strength and low conductivity, translates well to helping keep your coffee hot and out of your lap.
Oh, bro. Bro, this is 6, bro. Bro, did you make this? Oh, bro. Bro, this is so 6. Is this your question? Bro, this question is 6.
Why is home insulation so often colored pink? The answer is D. Branding. In 1956, Owens Corning started adding red dye to their insulation to stand out from their fiberglass competitors. In 1980, they started using the Pink Panther cartoon character as a mascot, further solidifying the association between the color pink and their insulation, which they trademarked. So, if you see pink insulation offered by a company other than Owens Corning, that company had to pay extra to make it. Before they introduced pink to the market, what color was most home insulation? A. Black. B. Bright yellow. C. Tan. Or D. Pale green. The answer is C, surprisingly. Tan. The pink color wasn't the brainchild of any marketing genius. Owens Corning added red dye to a new formulation of its insulation to simply differentiate it from their standard tan-colored product. When they saw how popular the new colored variety was, they went full pink. They went absolutely pink crazy. They could not get enough of the color pink. You think Barbie loves pink? Oh no. Barbie just likes pink. Owens Corning loves pink. When they switched all of their insulation to the color pink, their profits began to soar and put their company in the pink, which is why they love it so much. They love it. Pink. Hi, I've got some great news. You just died and gone to question 7. Your pinky finger is the smallest digit on your hand. Hopefully. 9 different muscles control your pinky finger, which seems like a lot. But your pinky does have its uses. If you play the piano or a woodwind instrument, it helps you reach those distant keys. It works as a natural support for your smartphone while you're doom scrolling. Extending it while drinking coffee from a mug at a diner demonstrates high class. And it gives others the confidence to trust you with valuable secrets via the unbreakable pinky swear. We call it the pinky because it sounds cute. And because the word pink means little finger in what language? A. Dutch. B. Polish. C. Finnish. D. Norwegian. The answer is A. Dutch. I can't fold my pinky finger down independently. My ring finger always has to bend halfway as well. But some people can do this. It's just one of those weird differences between people. There's those of us who cannot do it, normal people, and those who can. Freaks.
There we go. That's 20 points, plus I used all my tiles. That's another 50 for 70 points.
It's not a word.
Yes, it is.
It's not a word.
It is a word.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
All right.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
You'll see.
Oh my gosh. Well, here it is. Look. To ask a lot of questions is to questionate.
I told you.
Littlefinger is one of the characters in the fantasy series of novels A Song of Ice and Fire and the HBO series Game of Thrones. He's first introduced as the Master of Coin on King Robert Baratheon's Small Council. He was nicknamed Littlefinger in reference to his short, Mugsy-Bogsian stature and to his family's lands, which were on the smallest of the Finger Peninsulas. Coming from a family with meager wealth and little influence, Littlefinger used his ample cunning, fueled by even stronger ambition, to manipulate his opponents, gaining power and prestige in an attempt at sitting on the royal throne. What is Littlefinger's actual name in the series? A. Dario Naharis. B. Samwell Tarly. C. Peter Baelish. Or D. Sandor Clegane. The answer is C. Peter Baelish. The TV show turned this character into a more cartoonish villain than how he's portrayed in the books, though that's not a slight on Aidan Gillen's very strong performance. If you enjoyed the HBO series and haven't read the books, you really should. You have plenty of time to get them finished before the next one comes out, which isn't due to arrive until never. The hardest part about being a trivia podcast host isn't coming up with the interesting questions. It's staying hydrated. So when I get thirsty, I always reach for a cool, refreshing glass of
Question 9.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you either win or you die. The same is true when you play the game of Porcelain Thrones, although the winning percentage is considerably higher. R.I.P. Elvis. I'm currently looking at HomeDepot.com, not a sponsor, and I'm looking at the toilets, filtered from highest price to lowest. The most expensive toilet they offer comes in at a whopping $16,249, though after hearing that price, you may no longer need a toilet for a bit. Here's the opening of the product description. The Numi 2.0 Smart Toilet combines unmatched design and technology to bring you the finest in personal comfort and cleansing. Highlights include an elongated bowl for added room and comfort, chair height seating, dual flush options, stainless steel wand bidet with adjustable spray shape, position, water pressure, temperature, pulsate and oscillate functions, ambient colored lighting, and a built-in audio speaker system, a heated seat with hands-free opening and closing, and, of course, an app. There's also a setting for whenever you pull your pants down, the toilet says, "Nice." Well, for that much money, there should be. Constructed of vitreous china, aka fancy porcelain, the Numi 2.0 is manufactured by what company? A. Glacier Bay. B. Kohler. C. Swiss Madison. D. Toto. The answer is B, Kohler. Not sure why you'd know that, but now you do. Those other companies, they also make toilets. At Home Depot, Toto's most expensive option is around $6,000. Swiss Madison for $1,411, and you can get Glacier Bay's finest toilet for only $365. No app on that one, though. And when you drop your pants, it just lets out a deep sigh.
You must retrieve the relic, for without it, we are all doomed. It can be found in the Forbidden Temple in the ancient city of Shun-Ten.
So, that would make this, Quest Shun-Ten then, huh?
You know what? Forget the relic. Just leave.
Flushing Meadows Corona Park in Queens, New York City is where the U.S. Open Tennis Championships are played every year. Both the New York Mets and Jets played their baseball and football games in Shea Stadium in Flushing Meadows for a time. The Mets still play in Flushing Meadows, but now at Citi Field, and the Jets play in New Jersey, but are still called the New York Jets because of tradition, I guess? Look, we know you're from Jersey, okay? It's like the team name equivalent to wearing a bad toupee. Look, you're not fooling anybody, all right, you New York Jets? You're from Jersey. In 1964, Flushing Meadows was home to the New York World's Fair, the second time this site hosted the event, with the first happening in 1939. Every World's Fair has a specific theme that all the exhibitions, activities, performances, art, and food at the fair try to represent. What was the theme of the 1964 New York World's Fair? A. Building the World of Tomorrow. B. Peace through Understanding. C. Man in the Space Age. D. The Age of Discovery. The answer is B. Peace through Understanding. Building the World of Tomorrow was the theme in 1938. And what a tomorrow world we've built. One where you can be 5'3" and play in the NBA, where you can enjoy a cup of coffee safely while at war, where you can get away with treason if you're bad at taking notes, and you can choose between cleaning your rear end with a pulsating or oscillating water spray. This might not be where you're originally from, or where you dreamed you'd be, but if you learn to embrace your surroundings as your home and treat the people around you with compassion, even when it seems like there's nothing in it for you personally, then I'd say you're doing pretty good.
Bonus, 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 bonus question time.
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is a 1997 thriller/mystery film based on the nonfiction novel of the same name by John Berendt. The movie stars John Cusack, Kevin Spacey, Jude Law, and Lady Chablis as herself. And it was directed by a man who at the 2012 Republican National Convention famously had a conversation with an empty chair. Name that director. No multiple choices, no countdown timer on this bonus question. If you don't already know the answer to this, feel free to go down your own rabbit hole of trivia knowledge, or you can join me for the next episode where I will have the answer for you at the beginning of the show. Thank you once again for listening to this week's episode of TRIVI-yeah. Remember, you can email the podcast at TRIVI-yeah-podcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to yell at me for these crazy questions about toilets. How are you supposed to know that? Let me have it, all right, guys? Or you can just tell me your favorite trivia. Maybe I'll include it in the show. You can say something nice about me, too. Oh, man, I love compliments. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, whatever the options are. 5 stars, or whatever. If there's a star option, I like 5. Leave comments. Comments also really help the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please come back next week for a new episode. Episodes drop every Tuesday morning. I'm going to have 10 new multiple choice questions ready to go for you. Probably none of them will be about toilets this time, so don't worry about cramming. All right? Don't cramming. Not sure why that made me laugh so much. TRIVI-yeah is written and produced by me. I also make all the music and the interludes that you hear, so I really hope that you're liking it. I am your host, Dean Felix. TRIVI-yeah is a quality yarn production.